Hey everybody, welcome to our show, Court Addict with ATX Alli. She's almost done typing, and when she's done typing, she'll start talking.
Sorry, I'm there. I'm here. I'm here. I promise. I can multitask. I swear.
It says we got a huge influx of people from the land of scam baiters.
Uh-oh.
I don't
I
know.
don't know what that is, but
Hey Gina and Terry and Nan and Painted Blonde,
there we go.
also known as Jennifer. We got Kim.
There we go. Hi, everybody. I'm
We
really
got,
here now. I'm
we
like
got
fully
Kelly.
involved.
Got Rivette.
Nan, who's my favorite in the whole world.
Nope, she's my favorite, and you can't have two favorites.
I called it. I called dibs. So, yeah.
All right. We're going to go into our first video, and then we'll stop and say hi to people because that's how we're going to roll today. So we're going to do the
Yeah.
first one.
Okay.
Excuse me, person in the navy jacket, are you on the docket or is the female with you on the docket? You're on the docket? Y'all need to separate. This is not a park bench where you all are hugged up together. We don't do that in this court. Community supervision in 2020, CR 5443, for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams on September 3rd, 2020 for a term of 4 years. Is that you?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. Violating condition number 2 on or about the 27th day of November 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Tracy Shane Spencer did then and there illegally use a controlled substance, namely methamphetamine, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
It is true, Your Honor.
Find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
No, there is not, Your Honor.
State, what are you requesting?
Requesting revocation, Your Honor.
Defense, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, I spoke with Mr. Spencer about this, and he wanted to defer to the court and just to be able to plead his case of what he's done so far on probation to the court.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Tracy Shane Spencer.
All right, what would you like to say?
I'm just, honestly, Your Honor, I would just like to be complete with this. I mean, I'm almost done 4 years on probation, 3.5 to be exact.
All right, so here's the main question. What have you done?
I've done a year in PIF. I've done a lifetime recovery for 3 months.
Was that inpatient treatment?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Uh,
And you were in felony drug court, is that correct?
yes, ma'am.
Why are you no longer in felony drug court? Why are you before me?
Because on Thanksgiving around the time my parents both passed away in 2013, I proceeded to do some ice.
All right, so here's the thing, what I know about felony drug court. And if I'm wrong, correct me. I'm fine with people correcting me and telling me, no, judge, that's incorrect, you're wrong. So what I know about felony drug court, because I used to be an attorney in felony drug court, and I'm one of the first attorneys who was ever in felony drug court when it was created.
I remember
So-
on the graduation last October.
So here's the thing. I know that if you have a relapse in felony drug court, they will work with you. So for them not to work with you, there has been something else that has been going on with them other than this is your first relapse. It's a matter of you not trying. So you want to explain to me why you're not in felony drug court?
There's so much to explain. I was just in it it is a very good program. I mean, it did a lot for me, and I was happy with the way I was progressing. It was a lifetime of fighting myself, and that's where I fell short.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
Nothing further, Judge.
State any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So what are you asking for, counsel?
We're deferring to the wisdom of the court. The probation has recommended safety. State has recommended revocation. We're hoping for maybe a happy, not even medium, because I guess it wouldn't be in between both of those. But again, we're deferring to the court's wisdom on this.
Probation, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, the recommendation on the court summary is for the executive. Thank you. followed by aftercare.
All right, I'm going to give you a choice. Here's your choice. I can revoke you. I'll sentence you to 3 years, give you credit for any time served. Legally, I must give you credit for any time served. You'll receive credit for any inpatient treatment that you've done as well that's been successfully completed. Or what's going to end up happening, I'm going to deny the motion. I'm going to extend you for 3 years and you're going to safety. So those are your two choices. Do not try to talk to me about any other choice. Those are your two choices. 3 years, or either you will be extended for 3
This is
years
interesting.
and you're going to safety.
First one, please.
All right. Court is finding violation of condition number 2 true. See, he doesn't want treatment. Court will sentence you to 3 years in the prison.
Gonna go to prison instead.
Give you credit for any time served, credit for any time served and inpatient treatment that was successfully completed. There's to be a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent. Did you pay the $60 fee to SAPD for restitution?
I paid a couple $1,000 towards the felony drug court.
All right. I go off the record. Obviously, you still have a drug issue, right? And technically, you're not in sobriety if you're using. There are so many places that we have in San Antonio and throughout the country where they will give you free treatment for any type of drug addiction you may be going through. If you do not take care of your issue, you know what's going to end up happening? You're either going to end up picking up more cases because you have people who are drug users, not drug dealers. The reason why they have cases is because they were caught before they had a chance to use the drug, right? So either you're going to get caught for that, or either what could end up happening is somebody could be asking to identify the body that's found on the side of the street or in a field, and that may be you, because the last time you use may be the last time you use. You understand? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Your Honor. Maybe excuse me.
Yes.
Wow. Take prison over treatment.
Yeah, he decided that prison was the right move for him instead of treatment. It was 3 years of treatment or 3 years of probation, and he had to go back to Safe P, which I think he said that he had already done a stint there of 3 months. So what that tells me is either he doesn't want treatment, he's not ready for it, or he thinks he learned everything that he could learn from Safe P, and doesn't want to go back there, which that could mean that he went to Safe P and it wasn't a good fit for him. Like I said, every rehab is different and it does things differently, and people react differently to different rehabs. So that might not have been the right place for him. And that's why he's like, well, I've already tried that. That's not going to do anything for me. Might as well send me to prison. And it sounds like he'd been in and out of doing the probation thing for a long time. And sometimes they just want to do their time and be done with it and not have to report to anybody outside in the real world. It just works out better for them, and that's what he chose. Oh my goodness, Donald! Thank you for coming. I haven't seen you forever. Thank you.
So how much time would he have had to spend in jail or prison versus how much time would he spend on treatment?
Well, usually Safe P I think is like a 9-month program, so he probably would have only done 9 months in treatment, followed by whatever the 2+ years of probation he'd have left. But yeah, he chose 3 years in prison, and maybe he's not ready to give up his addiction, and he knows he can score in jail and can just do jail high. I don't know. It's very possible.
He looks like he was comfortable with it. He looks like he was used to it. And when Judge Boyd was, giving her credits as the first one for drug court, he remembers her from the first graduation. So he's obviously been there, done that a few times.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's hard to say what the best course of action is for each person. Like, he might have figured it out and he just doesn't want to do probation. It might be too hard reporting. He might not have a car and live in a city where it's hard to report. I don't know. You just never know. And everybody chooses what's different for them. So all I hope is that he gets the help he needs, and when he gets out, he does better. That's all we can hope for.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's go to the second one. The second one is The credit goes to
Remote to bind over, I
Court
believe.
Cam TV. This Judge Simpson, y'all.
Actually, if you go back, there's 2 more cases in that video.
Do we
2
do
more
we go
short
back
cases
to
in
it?
that video.
All right, we
Yeah.
will go back to it. Let's.
Yeah.
Do you have any
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, when you see that chick in the white come up.
conditions
There you go.
of bond? State, have you had a chance to review the defense's motion?
Yes, Your Honor, our understanding is that they were trying to get her off of her full house arrest, EPS.
All right. And state, do you have any objection to that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Defense, do you have any witnesses?
Well, I've got my client here to explain to you that
All right. You want to call her as a witness?
on the bond issue alone.
Okay. All right. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Kelly Michelle Cotton.
All right. Defense?
Ms. Codner, do you have 2 ankle monitors on you right now?
Yes, sir.
You have, what is it?
One is a GPS monitor. The other is a scram monitor. On my left ankle is the scram. My right ankle is the scram.
All right. Now, have you signed an affidavit of non-driving?
Yes, sir.
And so you don't drive or own a vehicle?
That is correct.
Now, as far as the cost, how much is this costing you every month to do this?
$300 for each monitor is $600 a month total.
And are you employed?
No, I am retired.
All right. Do you live on a budget?
Oh, absolutely.
So are you asking the court to relieve you of the monitor for house arrest
Yes, sir.
to save some money? And are you willing to do some other monitoring program to have the judge feel safe for the community?
Yes, sir.
Well, for example, you could also have to blow into some device or something like that, or maybe take urine analysis every now and then, right?
Yes, sir.
And would you like to have the freedom to come visit your lawyer whenever you wish?
Yes, sir.
To shop for food whenever you wish?
Yes, sir.
And need to take clothing to the laundry and whatever?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you're asking the judge to do, to take you off house arrest?
Yes, sir.
All right. State, any questions?
Ms. Connor, were you recently on parole for offense?
Yes, it expired prior to me being arrested for any new offense.
What offense were you on parole for?
DWI.
And how many DWI convictions do you have?
I believe I have 5. Yes.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
I believe I have 5.
Okay.
Nothing from the state.
All right. Any follow-up?
No, Judge, I think she's on bond. So far, there have been no violations of any kind, and she's presumed innocent here. So the fact that she has a record shouldn't prevent her from being out on bond and to have the ability to do the necessary things that most everybody does.
And Judge, just the state was going to offer the defendant's Bexar County criminal history and the police report in this case, just for the purposes of this hearing.
And I object to that, Judge. I don't know that that's relevant to.
Okay. All right. I don't need to hear that. Thank you. Anything else?
That's all.
All right. Motion will be denied. All right. Thank you. This is a motion to revoke.
Yes, it is, Your Honor. And
Hold on, that was kind of bitter. That was kind of short.
She wanted her scram tethers off and she'd had 5 DWIs, and the judge was like, "Nope, next case."
Yeah. 4 is understandable. 5's a lot.
Yeah, 4 is totally fine. That's normal, but 5 is where I draw the line too.
Yeah, I believe since we started the show, I've gotten almost more vigilant against it about the DWIs, I still feel they need to be felonies. That doesn't.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe I don't understand the laws because I don't know that it's something that you shouldn't be able to work off of your license. If you are pulled over, I guess I'm saying there should be a sliding scale of DWIs. In other words, there should be an added one if you hurt somebody. There should be an added one if it should. Driving while intoxicated is a crime. If you hurt somebody, I know you can get manslaughter charges, but what if you don't? What if you just just bump up against someone's car?
Right.
What charges are that, or does all that fall under the DWI?
No, there are enhanced DWI charges like causing an accident and causing the accident that causes injury. So there are different enhancements to DWIs. They're all, of course, different across each state, but they usually do have enhanced DUIs for that reason. Because it's ridiculous. How did she get 5? And how is she even free? Like that's baffling to me.
And the crazy thing is that's 5 times, meaning you've only been caught 5 times. How many have you been driving?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's,
drives me nuts. I thought you guys would enjoy that one.
Yeah, 5 days a week. It seems like she had a long work week.
Yeah, for real.
Just to give you what's going on, we're going to be withdrawing the MTR at this moment, Judge.
Okay.
The new number ones that are alleged, the drug labs have not been obtained yet. But at this time, those are the only things alleged. And one other thing alleged on that MTR is 41, which is felony drug court.
Mm-hmm.
However, we believe that most of those reasonings, I believe, are because of the new number ones. I think that there's some other technical ones, but at this time, the state would be withdrawing the MTR, and then the other cases will be indicted or not indicted later when those drug labs are received, and we may be refiling at that point. I did tell that to the defense counsel.
All right. So he does look better since he's been in jail.
Yes, he does.
Seems like he's gained some weight and his eyes are clear. So my goal then, if we're withdrawing the motion, he needs to stay on track with being sober. So the question is, how are we going to accomplish that?
Judge, on his night mag cases, I believe the bondsman surrendered the surety, so he's remanded without a bond at this point. So I'm going to visit with his family. We may file a motion to set a new bond. If the court wants to put, if he gets out on bond, some conditions, then obviously that would be constructive.
All right, Ms. Abrams, on this case, they
Did
want
he
to
almost
withdraw
fall?
the motion.
Yes, Judge.
I don't know. I was wondering what the little bunny hop was.
Yeah, I'm gonna back that up. I think he almost fell. Let's see what he does.
Surrendered the surety, so he's remanded without a bond at this point. So I'm going to visit with his family. We may file a motion to set a new bond. If the court wants to put, if he gets out on bond, some conditions, then obviously that would be constructive.
Yeah, he did almost fall. You're right. He
Okay.
backed up and lost his balance. That's funny.
Are they allowed to test the attorneys?
I don't know. Maybe.
All right, Ms. Abrams, on this case, they want to withdraw the motion
Yes, Judge.
because the cases in the motion, they don't have labs back.
Yes, Judge.
But he does look 100% better since he's been in jail.
Yes, Judge.
So what I'm wondering is, if the state withdraws the motion and I sign it, can his conditions be altered and amended to include lifetime recovery inpatient if he's released from custody?
Yes, Judge.
All right. So that's what we'll do.
Very good, Judge. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll talk to your family.
All right.
Hello.
Hey, Judge, I've got
Oh.
Garrett. They didn't bring him over. They've got no clue if they can bring him over.
Well, they're doing it now.
Well, yeah, but they don't have a time frame. I can't sit here all day waiting on them. I have a trial on Monday. I have to
All
go
right,
back
so let me
and
explain
work.
something to you. This case has been indicted. It was set on January 23rd. I know that you were not here on January 23rd. They're bringing your client over. I'm sure he wants to see you and see if something can be done with this case. So we will call you when your client is brought over.
Judge, my office is a half hour away.
We'll call you when your client is brought over. He wants to see you.
Oh wow.
You know,
Brave.
I like the last 30 seconds of that video more than the first 10 minutes of it.
Right? I didn't even know that was a little bonus. I didn't know that was in there, but wow, he's brave.
Yep.
Good
Yep.
for him.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
braver than I am.
so you got to think about it. When a judge is there, there's people that remember that judge when she was an attorney. There's people who have, gone against her in court. And so, you respect the position of the judge, but some of these other folks may have ran against her as judge. Some of these other folks could have been her political opponents. And so there's always going to be the bitterness. You're always going to have the male female dynamic. You're also going to have the race dynamic. You're going to have plenty of reasons to not like each other. And you've got to put all that aside and be professional and say, I'm going to respect you because you hold the position.
Right. But that was brave. He got really surly at the end. Like if she wasn't ignoring him, I wonder if he would have gotten away with that in someone else's court.
Yeah. Yeah. I like him though. I like his style. I'm just saying he at least held his own with her. He didn't bow down to her. There was a lawyer in Judge Fleischer's court that just seemed like he was just kissing up a little bit too much. When the lawyer comes up and starts, oh, that's such a pretty bow tie you got today, sir.
Right.
Yeah, but Judge Fleischer handled it like a champ. He just said, "I'm not happy with your client. Let's go."
Yeah.
And so he was quick to get to work. So let's go to Judge Simpson.
For motion to bind over, I believe that the facts set up everything that's needed for count one, as it clearly shows that it's a controlled substance, it's cocaine. It was tested by the True Narc. In this case, Officer Hussein testified about finding the narcotic residue inside the vehicle. Then the two larger bags, which were found at the hospital. In this matter, the defendant was the only one in the bathroom at the time in which these narcotics, or prior to these narcotics being discovered. He was informed not to flush the toilet, did so anyway, was also informed not to basically make sure that he could be visualized. In this case, he saw that he bladed himself towards the trash can away from the view. There was fervent movements with his hands. And then all of a sudden there happened to be, while he washed his hands, there's two baggies of one bag of cocaine, one bag of crack. It just happened to be wet at the time in which generally right after he washes his hands, Your Honor. So it's been tested and shown as far as count one is concerned. But when it comes to count two, Your Honor, I believe Officer Hussein's testimony is very relevant into the indications of narcotic trafficking in cells. It's our position, Your Honor, based on the fact that there was a scale there, multiple small baggies numerous small baggies for packaging, tear-offs, which are commonly used as packaging, two different types of narcotics placed in two different bags, both of which are above the normal use for personal use. In this matter, we have one at 14, I believe one at 30 grams, Your Honor. One of those, I believe, which would be the cocaine, this pure cocaine, Your Honor, 30 grams, that's over an ounce. He had over an ounce of cocaine and then approximately half an ounce of crack cocaine, Your Honor, with baggies, with the scale. Those are every single thing beyond our address book that one would need for distribution, Your Honor. So we do believe that there is more than enough probable cause to sustain the additional charge that the people had requested, which was a possession with the intent to deliver, which would be a delivery of manufactured controlled substance less than 50 grams. We showed that the total weight of this was 45 grams, Your Honor, just under that 50-gram threshold, and that it was all cocaine or a mixture that contains cocaine, Your Honor. So for those reasons, and of course, we've already established venue, time, location, and identity. So, Your Honor, at this point, we do ask that the court bind over on the original count one and the added count two of delivery and manufacturing of a controlled substance less than 50 grams. Thank you.
That's something you don't want to go up after. That was a pretty scathing report there. Now you got to go up and defend that. And the guy sitting and you look at the ass
tried
sitting
to
back
hide
there.
the drugs in like the toilet or something. Like it wasn't smart, and it was a lot of drugs. So wait till you hear what the defense attorney has to say. It's interesting.
Well, you can see the defendant there just with his arms all folded, just being an attitude. So let's see how this goes.
Element of this, of course, is that the defendant possessed controlled substance. In this case, the allegation is cocaine and crack cocaine. There was a pat down and a full search before the hospital, before any of these allegations happened, by trained law enforcement officers. They know how to do the searches. Well, Officer Colorasi was in training, but also trained to do a search, obviously. Nothing was found on my client's person. Nothing in his system from the blood draw. No drugs, no alcohol. So really the possession comes down to these two bags that were found in the trash can in the hospital bathroom. A bathroom that is open to the public 24/7, doesn't require any special entry. Anyone could walk into that hospital and use that bathroom. I was curious how often they cleared the trash can, but the officer from the hospital didn't know. So obviously those bags could have been there for any amount of time. The officer from the hospital testified that my client had irregular hand movements, but at the end of the day, all he said was, well, he was drying his hands for an irregular amount of time or something to that effect. I mean, that's, I just, I just don't think there's a lot there to support probable cause, respectfully.
Because the lawyer is stupid.
No one saw
He's
my
trying.
client put anything in the trash can. And of course, Your Honor knows there's two types of possession, right? Actual and constructive. Presumably the people are arguing both, that he actually possessed these, but that nothing was found on his person. Constructive possession is, of course, and then there's case law, I think Mr. Danner is aware of. There's a Sixth Circuit case interpreting Michigan law, and there's a Michigan Supreme Court case, and I have the citations, I'll mention them quickly, but basically proximity to contraband is not sufficient proof for possession, for constructive possession. There has to be something else connecting a defendant to the contraband, whether it's a weapon or a controlled substance. And I won't go through a lot, but I would just like to, for the record, say that I'm referring to a Sixth Circuit case, Parker v. Renico, 506 F3rd 444, interpreting Michigan law, decided October 17, 2007. And that case cites many cases, including a Michigan Supreme Court case, People v. Wolf, WLFE 440 Mich 508, decided in August 31st, 1992. Very briefly, what the Sixth Circuit says is, as with the federal rule, a person has constructive possession if there's proximity to the contraband, together with indicia of control. In other words, proximity alone never suffices. Cites the Michigan Supreme Court case. And the ultimate question, according to the Michigan Supreme Court, is whether the evidence establishes a sufficient connection between the defendant and the contraband to support the inference that the defendant exercised dominion and control over the substance. That's beyond the mere proximity. So I respectfully assert that there is not probable cause on that first element for actual or constructive possession. The second element, defendant knew that he possessed a controlled substance.
Guys, change your chat settings to live.
That would have to be inferred. There's no evidence of that.
I
There's
always
no
forget to do.
statements or admissions. So that would have to be inferred from the first element. And, well, there is testimony of the weight. So that's the third element. So for all those reasons, well, I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
I really don't need rebuttal.
I don't really need rebuttal.
The court would find that
There
the
it
people
is.
have sustained their burden of showing sufficient evidence that there's probable cause to believe that the defendant committed the offense of possession of a narcotic less than 25 grams. Also, given all of the testimony, in particular that by Officer Hussein, there is enough. This court believes that the defendant should also be bound to stand trial on the additional charge of possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance less than 50 grams. And so the court would bind the defendant over to circuit court on both those counts. The court would also indicate that the issues that are raised by the defendant with regards to those cases and actual possession, the court does find, for the purposes of probable cause, that those particular prongs under either test are met. To the extent there might be an argument as to what could be inferred or the intent, that this court would believe would become a question of fact that would properly be before the jury. But I think there's enough there to bind the defendant. Well, I know there's enough there to bind the defendant over. Defendant's bound over on counts 1 and 2.
Please subscribe to help the channel.
Yeah, so I loved at the end where he was like, oh, rebuttal's not needed. That was subtle but true. Judge Simpson just shutting it down like the pro he is. I loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of lost words for, they do the dumbest damn things and think that they can get an argument out of it. They think that they can get somewhere with it.
Yeah, and you got to give his defense attorney props for even trying to say there was no PC to arrest him. I mean, he swung for the fences. He just didn't get there.
Yeah.
But those 2 videos were both from Court Cam, so please show them some love. They've got some amazing videos over there. Love their content. And so please, go give them a like and a subscribe. They got lots of cool stuff over there. So I know you wanted to talk about exchanging one addiction for another. What are your thoughts on that?
I see with my son, I see he's obsessing with the weightlifting, obsessing with the bodybuilding part, and he has to do that in order to not focus on what his addiction is. I know as big as I am, I used to be bigger. I used to weigh a lot more, and I've lost a lot of weight. And I'd always have to chase a number. I'd have to chase something. I'd have to fixate on something. Right. And I've often said that if I had an addiction, it would be food. I'm just, it is. I'm the type. I'm an emotional eater. If I had a rough day at work or something, I don't go grab a beer. I'd go grab a burger. And
right.
So, and if work felt like it was abusive and work felt like it was too much, I felt like, okay, well, they're taking advantage of me. I'm going to go get that release from that. And whenever I decided to start losing weight, going to the gym became that release. It became that addiction, and it can become, an hour, then 2 hours, then 4 hours, and it becomes an addiction all the same. And I was thinking about it earlier, and I was talking with someone earlier, and the thought come up of, what's Alli addicted to now that she's not addicted to what she was?
This is my new thing. So and there are differences between healthy addictions and unhealthy addictions, and even exercising, while it's mostly a healthy addiction, can get unhealthy if you take it too far. But that's with anything. There are a lot of people with exercise in general get addicted to the endorphin rush, which is a natural high. So that makes sense why they would be addicted to that. But just like anything, it can be taken too far. My addiction is basically like court. Like, I love watching court and stuff like that. What other things? I mean, watching TV. I like watching TV. I like anything that doesn't require me to move. Honestly, after a car accident last year, like, being in bed is where I'm the happiest. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think I really have any other addictions, except for really like court watching.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just saying, some people, when they stop, whenever you talk to some people that, they talk about, okay, well, I don't smoke anymore, so I constantly have lollipops, or I constantly have something, in other words, I have to chew gum all the time.
Yeah. I don't have
And
anything
so,
like that had to replace the high. I didn't have anything like that, or to replace the habit, the like habitual, because it wasn't like smoking. It wasn't like after I have a meal, I go out for a cigarette, that kind of thing. So it was a little bit different. I didn't have like I didn't have triggers really. I didn't have specific things that made me want to use. Yeah, I used to deal with the bad parts of life just like anybody else does, but I mainly did it. Mine was such a different way because it started out with medication, like because I was in pain management, so it was a legit reason, and then it just kind of sort of slowly spiraled out of control. So that's how mine started. Mine's a little bit different than most people. So I don't know.
right. And Rivette's talking about like her father gave up drinking and gambling, and so they got him and started on golf. And
There you go.
guys are real big. I think probably guys and girls are big on hobbies, but I'll just reference guys. Guys are real big about, oh, I'm hunting, or I'm playing golf, or I'm boating, or I'm doing something. The guys that want to do more technical stuff end up, they're a nerd. They're into World of Warcraft, or they're into Star Wars or Star Trek, or they end up having like a little genre of games and stuff they're on. Like hey,
Yeah.
Judge Fleischer plays the Fortnite. To me,
Yeah.
I want him to have that sort of release. I don't want him to go home with all those thoughts of what he heard all day and just have to stew on that. So it's
Yeah,
good
I
to have
used
that
to do
release.
video games, but I don't really do video games that much. I know that's a big thing with some people. I used to do that. That was before my addiction. Me and my ex husband played World of Warcraft for a short period of time, but then we got too high level where you had to schedule your life around playing the game. Like you could only play the game during certain times when you could raid with like 40 other people, and you had to do it like at this specific time. And I just wasn't into planning my life around a video game. I wanted to play it when I felt like playing it, not because I had to be there at a specific time or place. So that was
Right.
me, but that was years ago.
Right. And see, Eric's there mentioning he's addicted to Dungeons and Dragons. He has to tell
Yeah.
himself to stop after 24 hours. That's craziness to me.
That
But
was me with World of Warcraft. We used to play World of Warcraft like crazy. I mean, we weren't addicted to it, but we played it a lot. And we would do like day long sessions when we didn't have to work. We just spend the whole weekend playing because it was free and fun and didn't cost a lot
right.
of money.
And see,
So,
Beverly Bradford there, I'm addicted to sugar. Absolutely. I'm so addicted to sugar that when Judge Fleischer grabs out Skittles, I started having like, no, you can't do that, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. I want to jump through the screen. Obviously, look, the guy's looking good. He's obviously in shape. So he's figured it out. And so he's able to control it. But for someone who's not, it would be like someone saying, oh, I'm going to go do this drug after you spent
one
years of
time.
addiction, and so but yeah, and see, like Brecken saying Minecraft.
Beverly and
See,
Beverly.
I've never been able to figure out video games. I've never once had a video game that could grab my attention. I've wanted to because games look cool, and heck, during my lifetime, games have gotten amazingly advanced. But there's never a
After
time.
the Super Nintendo, I didn't pick up gaming anymore.
Yeah, yeah. Once
I'm
once it was once it was past two buttons, I was gone.
Yeah, exactly. Like 4 buttons I could do with the Super Nintendo, but then once you like added top buttons and side buttons and all, and no, I don't think I'm smart enough for all that. But I will destroy anybody in Mario Kart. Doesn't matter what system it's on.
Oh,
So we'll see.
when you was talking about destroying, Raven said ate a entire bag of Kit Kats during Judge Fleischer's stream. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It'd be a downer. It'd be a downer if I had that, because and so I've got to stay away from stuff like that. My wife's smart. My wife's if she buys anything like candy or anything like that, sweets, it's single serving. And she's she's never gonna she's not gonna sit there and look at me disapprovingly while I eat 5 of them.
Now I do go through spurts of addiction in certain things that are like food related. Like I went through a artichoke addiction. I went through a edamame addiction. And when I say addiction, I
Who
mean
the hell
like,
goes through an artichoke addiction?
I know I'm so weird. If it's food that you have to fight for, that you have to work for, like edamame and artichokes and crab and anything that you have to like meticulously like work at to get, for some reason I love, and I don't know why. I know it's super weird.
You
but
may
I
be
love
part
it.
squirrel.
Maybe it's totally I do like opening up and breaking nuts and eating them and whatever other inferences you want to take from that statement. But yeah, I go through, like I had a edamame addiction where I ate like probably 2 to 3 pounds of edamame a day. It was bad. That's all I ate. I'm currently on there's a restaurant locally here called Temple 22 that makes spicy fried chicken, and they have a dirty mac and cheese, which is mac and cheese with the spicy fried chicken in it, and it's phenomenal. And I'm super addicted to that right now. So I go in spurts.
One day while watching Court Vibes' live, Kathy was talking about being an adult and she can just go and buy a cake and she can eat it, and that's no one can get onto her for it.
Exactly.
And I thought about how funny that was, but no, in the end, a lot of times whenever someone gives up an addiction, they end up gaining another addiction, and at what level does that become unhealthy? And like I said with my son literally had the argument with me tonight, or had the discussion with me tonight about if he had 8% body fat versus 6% body fat.
Oh my God.
And so he's having those debates on, in other words, where should he carry his maintenance weight at? And I'm arguing with him. I was like, look, I'm about to buy a whole box of cereal and eat every bit of it. You're talking about what your maintenance weight is. And he doesn't even talk about it in pounds. He's talking about it in percentage body fat. So, but that just shows how particular he is, how meticulous he is on it. And I don't want him to, I'm not nearly as worried about this addiction as I was the last addiction. But anybody can hurt themselves with an addiction. Yeah, me too, Eric. I gotta look up what that edamame is.
Edamame. Oh my God, it's soybeans. So like when you go to do you ever go to well, no, I know you don't go to a sushi restaurant. Yeah, they serve them at sushi. It's a Japanese thing, and you just steam them, and then you serve them with salt over them, and you just eat the little soybeans that are in it's almost like peas in a pea pod, sort of. They're yummy. They're really good.
So everybody, Alli just threw a dig at me. She's saying she can just look at me and tell I don't do sushi.
I know you're a picky eater, and I know you don't even eat meat, really. I mean, you don't like steaks and stuff like that. So I know you don't eat raw fish.
Nope.
Come on.
And I'll admit it here. I have literally never ate a steak in my life.
So I know you.
Yeah.
I know you well enough to know that you've never had sushi, and you would never probably try it, or you probably maybe you've tried it, but I know you didn't like it.
Yep. Absolutely. Eric's talking about soybeans bleach.
Black.
Okay, black.
He said black. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, and I agree with you completely, Gina. At least his mind's away from drugs. Absolutely, it is. Absolutely, it is.
For real.
His mind is completely obsessed with, his freedoms and coming home and what girls are around, what girls are available, and how close the girls are, and how far the girls are, and everything in between there. And so
I know Bill doesn't like steak. It's weird. I get it. I'm on board with you guys. He's got issues, but I'll try to work on him. No,
and I tell you what it is. I think you eat what you grow up eating. Saying you like what you like, and I literally had the parents said if they were going to go out and eat, we wouldn't know about it.
Right.
And so.
No, I know. Derval, welcome. It's glad you're here.
Hey, Derval, we saved this video for you, so let's go ahead and go to the third video.
Mm-hmm. This is a body cam video. It's not a happy body cam video. It's not a bad one either. But this is an OD. She's gonna watch this car off to the side. That's kind of in the other lane. Watch that car. You'll see why she's gonna pull him over here in a second. He's gonna be all over the road here in a minute.
Well, I know that's not in Florida.
No, I'm pretty sure this is in Columbus. This is courtesy of Columbus Police Body Cam. I'll post their stuff in a second. But see how he's all over the road? Yeah, the cop's like, we're going to have a discussion.
2817 break, secondhand info. Friend is having a 17A with her boyfriend in a stare. Nothing visible, no weapons.
That's not it. Just kidding. Hold on. Oh, no, that is it. Sorry, just kidding. Ignore me. No.
What's going on, man?
I was just a bit tired, so I pulled over for a second. Nap.
There we go.
Okay. You haven't been drinking?
No, I do not.
No drugs?
No.
Hey, Nitty.
Hold on one moment.
Where do you live?
I'm on the phone. I live over in Galloway.
On Galloway?
So
in Galloway.
This is what I used to look like.
Off Galloway Road.
You're having a hard time keeping your eyes open, man.
You said that's what you used to look like, hi?
Yep, this is exactly what I used to look like, hi.
And your husband didn't know? Did he ever see you high, or did he see you after?
Yeah, a couple of times he saw me high, but I don't know. I got no explanation for that. He doesn't like himself after not realizing it after all those years, but that's a whole nother show.
Okay, yeah, and I never want to discredit him or question,
No, not at all.
questioning
But yeah,
him, but it shows how much you can be in denial of someone you love. It shows just how hard that.
And don't underestimate the fact that I lied through my teeth off my ass to him 24/7, and he wanted to believe me because he loves me. So why wouldn't he believe me? I never gave him a reason to question me before. So yeah, that's totally on me. But yeah, keep watching this guy. He falls asleep. He's not. This is what you call the nod. If you see somebody like this that's constantly nodding out and waking up, like falling asleep mid-sentence, that's a telltale sign that they're on some type of opiates.
Okay, so, let's go and see what we got.
When's the last time you slept?
It's been about a day and a half, 2 days.
Yep, exactly what I look like.
Yes, ma'am.
Why haven't you slept in a day and a half?
I just have a kid.
You have a kid? You sure you haven't taken any drugs?
Yes, I am.
Are you lying to me?
In the past,
but not today? You could, hey, you're falling asleep talking to me, man.
I'm falling asleep. I'm just stressed.
Secondhand caller. Now, about 20 minutes ago, neighbor called and said that 3 black 29s vandalized his truck. No black white jacket, no black gray jacket, no description on the third. They all took off running in the alley between Central and
What? I can't hear you.
Oh, I apologize, man.
You're what? What? What are you saying to me? I can't hear you.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I'm talking to you.
West Chesterwood Boulevard.
Now I can't remember.
Monroe Muffler. Dropped a long range motion.
Do
me a favor, get the keys out of the ignition.
Scratching yourself is another telltale sign.
Turn your car off.
Oh, my car is up.
Put the keys on the roof.
On the roof?
Yep. All right, stay put. One and four. I'm at West Broad and Maple with a 10-6. Frank King Young 3591. If this is on county, can you can you call and have them send a unit this way? Hey. 194, can you start me a medic as well? He's ODing. Huh? If there's one available. Vaginal breathing. All right.
Hear him? You can hear him gasping. That's standard ODing from opiates. You can hear them gasp for air.
He's not laying down. 194, Narcan deployed.
Copy, Narcan deployed. 150. Copy.
Gotta get up, buddy. Let's go. Wake up. Get up. Hey. I deployed it, but I don't think it works because it just dripped right out his nose if you want to do another dose. Come on. Let's go. Get up. Up, up, up. Let's wake up, friend. Come on. Let's get up. Talk to me. Come on, you gotta get up.
You can still OD after being Narcaned and brought back. It only kicks out the opiates for a certain amount of time, so your opiate receptors can refill if you still have it in your system, and you can still OD. That's why you have to go to the hospital after being Narcaned.
I'm gonna lean back the seat. Back real fast. Yep, come on. Come on. Let's go. Gotta get up, bud. Well. 194, second dose of Narcan deployed.
Copy, second dose of Narcan.
Come on, partner, wake up. Wake up. There you go. There you go. Keep breathing.
He was on the phone with his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were driving, just trying to get back to 19, and he's all over the road. He pulled in here. He gave me some story about how he was tired. I don't have his name or anything. No. We've given him 2 doses. Like, not even within the last minute.
Just wait like another 2 minutes. So he reacted to the second dose. We got a little bit of this.
Hey, let's jump into that question so I don't have to listen to that breathing for a second.
Yeah, I just responded in chat. Yeah, Narcan is usually just deployed by a nasal spray. Actually, do you guys want to see it? I have some. Do you want me to go get it?
Are we
and show
supposed
you
to
what it
answer?
looks like?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking you, really.
Yeah,
Do you want me to go
absolutely.
get it real quick?
Yeah, I figured it looked like just some nasal spray. I figured it looked like just something like an allergy spray or some.
Basically, but let me go get it. Take me off the screen so I can put my stuff down. It doesn't look crazy.
Okay,
I'll
all
be
right.
right back.
Alli is
Talk
off
to
the
them real quick. 3 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. This is Bill. No, that breathing that's the signs that you're about to go out. That's the sign that the lights are about to turn off. And if they give him a chance, he'll do it again. Just continue doing it over and over and over and over again. I had a work thing come up and I was texting, so I apologize for being a little distracted there. Alli was running it like a champ. But I told Debbie, Debbie was asked if I was okay, and I was like, "No, Debbie, it wasn't me breathing like that." That's that guy on there. Yeah, and Debbie, you gave it IV. I gave it back in, I think, 2003, 2004, and I'll tell you a funny story about that too. So back in 2003, 2004, I was working on an ambulance, and they were telling us about these electronic clipboards that we were going to start doing our run reports on. And we could not make heads or tails of why we would do everything on an electronic clipboard, then have to get to the hospital and print everything out. Why we couldn't just write the run report as we went. And as it evolved, that was the beginning of the iPads and different tablets. We had no clue. We had no clue what they were, and so before they were available to the public, they were being used on ambulances. And so,
all right, now I'm back. Sorry for all the sound effects. I was struggling to try to get everything set up. I get my desk tomorrow, so I won't have to do all of this messing around. Okay, so let's see if I can get it with the light so it's on.
hey, Alli.
Yeah.
Scarlett's back.
Welcome back, Scarlett. Okay, let me see if I can turn off the light or turn down the light. Let's see if you can.
So it looks like a white. It looks like a white square.
Yeah,
that's
hold
the
on. I
shiny
gotta
light.
get the. Yeah, hold on. Let me turn the light off. See if that helps. No, now you can't see shit. Oh, that's
So-
better actually. There you go. So it's this little like nasal spray.
Okay.
And this part goes in the nose and you depress this part. And it does 4 milligrams of Narcan. So it's only, I think it's only 1 dose, but my clinic gives them out for free. So I have one in my bathroom. I have one in my purse. I have one in the car, just in case I come across somebody who needs it. And I've had to give it out before, but it's always good to have. I know they sell it at Walgreens here in Texas for like $45, but I luckily get it for free through my, yeah, there you go.
Yep.
That's exactly what it looks like.
I have pretty painted
So-
fingernails.
They're so lovely.
Yep. Yep. That's the Narcan, and that's about like what it was back then, and it's a single dose, and basically if you give it, you're not going to, you're not
Yeah.
there was no risk of overdosing someone on it. That's what they told us. There was no risk of overdosing it. They tell us just, if in doubt, give it to them.
Mhm.
So, and we have churches here in town that have vending machines outside the churches that have the Narcan, and it's become a pretty big political issue. People don't want that because that would cause the homeless people to hang around the churches, and I stay out of that one because I can't make heads or tails of what their brains are thinking whenever they argue about that.
Yeah, and that's a whole political discussion on whether or not to distribute it or have. I know that some places have little vending machines that give them out, and people are against that. I'm all about harm reduction. So if you look at it through the lens of harm reduction, that's kind of where I live. I don't love drugs. I don't love drug addicts. I don't love that it's a thing that people have to suffer with, but it is. It's the reality, and I don't want people to die. Like
Yeah.
they can be saved. They can be saved. So that's why.
Yeah,
And I'm going
Kelly-
to try.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Kelly was saying that they were going to make it illegal and had to fight the governor and attorney general to change it. So that's in Texas. Yeah, Texas got some crazy damn laws. Texas they go quite overboard on some things.
Oh yeah, and Brecken, you're right. They sell it at the pharmacy here. It's at Walgreens. You don't need a prescription for it, but it is behind the counter, so you have to ask for it. But yeah, it's like $45, and I don't know any addicts who are going to spend $45 on a maybe when they can spend that on getting high. Like, I'm sorry, that's just the reality of the situation. They won't.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and if you're a responsible adult, you'd want to keep some in your glove box just in case you happen to run across somebody. But $45 is $45.
Exactly, for anybody, let alone an addict who that's all they care about. They'll give up food. They'll give up putting a roof over their head and paying rent. Like, they will give up everything. They're not gonna spend $45 on that. They just won't. So
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, and look, $45 for a dose of Narcan is a hell of a lot cheaper than the scene. Like the law enforcement call out on this night, the different paramedics and everything that showed up. Everything out there is gonna be in the several thousands of dollars, and that's not even considering the cost of life and the human cost in it. That's just the actual physical cost of it.
So wow, I've had this for too long. Good thing you said so, Kim. How long is it good for? Mine right here says it's good till September of 2023. So I should probably get some new ones because I didn't know that they expired.
Right,
And then there should not be any liability issues if you carry it and use it on somebody. You could give somebody who's not with ODing it, and it doesn't affect them at all. All it does is it kicks the opiates out of the opiate receptors. That's all it does.
Right, and Micah, we're actually checking on it. I'll go ahead and spill the beans on it, Alli.
Okay,
we're actually checking on it on our channel. We're thinking about just basically saying, hey, if you want some, basically, send us your information. We'll send you one. We're just looking at the legal liabilities of it because, one, I don't want to get sued. Two, I don't want to get sued. And I'm worried about getting sued.
Yeah.
But no, in reality, I would love to be able to send it out to help somebody. Alli had a great idea with it. But I don't want to be in a position to where somebody's kid, Scarlett, takes it trying to be a stupid kid and ends up hurting themselves. And so we want to be responsible in everything we do. But we're checking into it. But yeah, absolutely. Check the expiration date. In reality, any responsible adult should be going through and checking their medicines, for expiration dates and such. just because you check your fire alarms, you need to go ahead and check your medicines, and understand how you dispose of those medicines. I lived out in the country, so you just flushed everything down the toilet. I know in the cities they don't want you flushing all your drugs down the toilet.
Yeah, there are and I'll look into this and put a link on Discord when I find it. There are actual companies you can contact, and they'll send you like an envelope with I think it's got like charcoal or something for you to put the drugs in, like your expired medicine, and then it deactivates it, and then I think you send it back to them. There are companies out there that are specifically for how to properly and responsibly dispose of expired medicine. I'll look it up and I'll post it on Discord when I get the info.
Right. And so what we're looking at right now is we're looking at to see if there's a nationwide network. Like let's say you live let's say you live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you want some. Well, here's the contact person in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we're looking for some sort of network like that we can put up and try to help people that way. But as far as right now, just got to be careful. Just be careful. Find it where you can find it. I assume any health department that you go to would at least be able to tell you where to get it. But make sure you don't get it from Alli. It's expired.
No, I would never give it to somebody who's expired. But that's funny that it's expired, and I didn't even think about it. I've obviously had this for so long. I'm guessing they're good for a year. That's what I'm guessing because
Parrot Court Channel is saying I don't know if you trust the ones from Amazon. Someone earlier today on the After the Show was talking about marijuana tests. In other words, that you can do is like saliva tests, and you can buy those at Walmart. And I've bought the Walgreens breathalyzers. I've had to do that for work. To make sure people that are at work are not too drunk to be at work, and they're okay. The ones for marijuana and other, and they call it illicit drugs. That's just what the package says, illicit drug test. Those are for parents wanting to test their kids. That's not for a workplace environment, and that's certainly not for law enforcement to use. Because there's so many chances that could be wrong on it. That's literally just a parent and the kid come home and they want to scare the kid off of doing drugs, and so. So
continue playing. Let's find out what about this guy.
Oh no! I can tell you now, he's a goner.
It's my last one here. Which nostril did you guys use? Do you remember?
We do both. We split half and half.
I'm just gonna do one.
Oh, they still,
Wake up, buddy.
He told me he hadn't taken anything when I initially walked up, but I knew immediately. He couldn't talk. He was falling asleep talking to me. He was all over the road, which is why we pulled over.
Good thing he pulled over.
He'd have died, yep.
81.
Yeah, 80's on. Yeah, no shit.
Who's that boys run? 80. No, they're on the coming. 150.
Yeah, got a couple candy cards out here with us. Got a third dose of Narcan.
Copy, third dose of Narcan.
So funny.
Where?
10, 1 single to grab.
Grab the airway bag, please.
Copy.
He's had 6 milligrams already.
Hey, buddy. Hey.
You gave him 4? Oh, well then he's had 8.
Talk to me. Hey. What's your name, boss?
9190, we'll take your 7 out mouth.
Yep. His pupils are like.
Did you guys get an ID on him or anything?
Nope, not yet.
2453 West Mound. Caller sees a broken window with glass here. He is just about passing by.
You see this here?
He probably needs this a little bit
This
more.
was on his passenger seat.
So, we're going to add the bug.
Fantastic.
10 and 10, 10. Hey, bud, can you wake up and talk to me? Hey.
I warned you. I warned you. Oh, he's up.
You need some heroin?
Ready to 80 for 9082.
6 milligrams of Narcan will woke you up.
There's a needle sitting right next to 9082 to 80. I'm still making my way over towards you guys. You want me to come to you or to Graham?
You got any wallet or ID, bud?
Graham will be good.
What's your name?
Copy, ready to copy.
Brian? Okay.
100.
How old are you?
100.
23?
Eastern, my 38.
Regal Cinema is 1800, Georgia Square, see Nicole.
I copy. Do we have location of where she's at exactly in the lot or in the location?
You guys give him 4? I gave him
He got 4, and then we carry 2. So I gave him 2, and he gave him 2, so 8.
Negative. I'm doing a call back to her now. Looks like her son stole her debit card while they were in the movie theater here, and also left in her blue Hyundai Elantra. But he had permission to drive that.
It's fine. He needed a lot of it, so.
And he sounds like he's on 49A.
Does that have his name on it? Where? Right here. Hey, Brian, wake up, bud.
I'm gonna check out this really quick.
And remember, after your Narcan, you immediately go through
Regal
withdrawals. Like you
What?
start in withdrawals, so it sucks.
If that drug wears off that we gave you, you will die. We're not negotiating. In your system, you can die. We're going to the hospital.
100. I just did a call back. I told her to
Yeah,
stand
that
out front.
firefighter just told him, if we don't take you to the hospital
Special duty there also.
and the Narcan wears off, you could die.
I copy. They're not answering up though.
So you would die. Hold on, let me pause this. So you would die from the die from the withdrawals?
No, I mean you could, but that's not what I was saying. When you're Narcan, it knocks all of the opioids out of your receptors, like it kicks them out, but your receptors are still there. So if you still have the drugs in your bloodstream, they can go right back into your opiate receptors and cause you to go OD right away again. So that's why after they Narcan people, you have to go to the hospital, because you could, after the Narcan wears off, it has a shorter half-life than the drugs do. So the drugs, after Narcan's gone, drugs come back into play, and then you're ODing again. So that's why they have to take him to the hospital, because he could OD again after they brought him to. He could just be fine, and then in 30 minutes, Narcan wears off, and he's ODing again. So they got to take him to the hospital.
Yeah, Parrot Court Channel is saying you should never give more than 2 doses. And let
I've seen a lot more than 2 doses.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've never done it. I've only seen what I've seen on body cam, but I've seen lots of where they've done it like 4 or 5 times.
Hey everybody, this is your
Insane.
disclaimer. I didn't pass the medical exam. Yeah.
But I've never worked as a EMT or in the medical field, so
Yeah.
I could be talking out of my ass. But I have seen them give like 4 or 5 doses.
Yeah. In Kim, is he still gasping, or was Bill right? No, he made it okay. He's not gasping anymore because they give him the Narcan and he's coming back off the high. He's actually coming back to life. And so they saved him right now.
Yeah, and they're trying to tell him, we got to take you to the hospital because you could OD again. And he's like, I don't need to go to the hospital. They're like, nah, you do.
Yeah, and Beverly's saying the drugs are still in the system. Yeah, the drugs are physically still there. So you need to get to the hospital. And, how many near-death experience does it take for someone to realize that they almost died?
But you don't know. I mean, he's not going to remember any of this. Like he'll wake up in the hospital or in the back of the ambulance, but he won't necessarily remember what he's doing right now. Like all of this right now of him gasping and them working on him, he's not going to remember any of that.
Yeah, but he got YouTube famous.
Oh yeah, that's why it's very important. Like that's why I'm a very big advocate that when you go for your probable cause conference, you should have to watch the videos, the body cams. But that's a whole nother episode.
Yep. And Parrot saying yes, and they should have not. She's seen EMT scream at cops for giving 3 or 4 doses, and I was trying to remember. I remember whenever I was working on an ambulance, they basically told us there was no top end for that. There was no top end for that. But they also told us when you give it to them, grab them and go. And I think one of the first things I learned when I went to all the schooling was throw away all that stuff you learned in all the schooling.
Right.
And so, it was that type of job was a lot of on-the-job experience, a lot of on-the-job training.
Mm-hmm.
I could, you know what, Jennifer, I am pretty damn good at Googling stuff. I was able to pull out a prettier picture of Narcan than Alli was, and she had it in her hand.
That's very true.
And so, all right, let's get back to this video. We only got a minute left of this one, so.
Okay, cool.
You taking him to doctors?
I'm not afraid to talk.
Probably, yeah. There we go. All right, buddy, your legs are gonna swing up. You'll stay sitting up though.
Ryan, what'd you take? It's got the needle in it.
Black tar heroin?
Yeah, it was how I did.
I'm not able to private call in.
Ryan, what did you
That's what I found.
You got the Narcan you fixed up. Give it to them.
I broke it back down.
Oh, okay. I thought you'd already screwed it all together. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Very interesting. They didn't continue, and he didn't get arrested for DUI.
They could have charged him the next day, or they could have took it. You know, he could have got a summons in the mail for it. But so one of the reasons I love Rivette so much, and one of the things about me is at the end of the poll, it says 71% of the people said no, you should not. 28% said yes, you should. And see, I didn't see it as 71 said no. I saw it as 28% wanted to see it. So.
That's funny. I wouldn't even know how to test it. What, you want me to OD and see if it brings me back?
No. Just try it. Just try it out like it is.
Oh, yeah.
Just see if it burns.
It probably wouldn't feel great because I actually do have opiates in my system from the methadone, so it probably wouldn't make me feel great.
Told you, Rivette.
Gina, he was on black tar heroin. That's what I used to do. Yeah.
Yep. So let's go to the last.
Well, we
one.
got another. We got a judge clip. So now we're gonna finish it up with
this is my buddy Judge Hayward. Yep.
This is one of her very first videos. Like one of her very. This is I think over a year old. This is like when she was very first introduced to the YouTube world. So I hope you guys enjoy this one.
You gotta love Nan screaming no, telling you not to try it. No, and Nan, I don't know if you saw
bet it would.
I don't know if you noticed at the beginning of the show, Dan, I put a disclaimer up there. I don't want anyone to think that this channel is promoting anything crazy.
No,
you know, we're never gonna do anything. I think one of my biggest problems with the thoughts of this show is that people think that I'm supporting drug use or I'm supporting anything like that. Because anyone who knows me knows that that's not who I am. I'm painfully non-judgmental about people and their choices. I have my own opinions and they're super strong, but I don't ever play around with them at work. I don't ever play around with them in business, and this is business. And so I don't get judgmental about it. Hey, Jamie, good to see you.
Hey, Jamie. And just to let you guys know, this video is from another one from Old Squishy Gardener. So if you haven't checked him out, you should because he's amazing.
Everyone's checked him out. He's got all the subscribers.
Yep.
Long Hayward. This is the jail and arraignment calendar for October 10th, 2023, Clayton County State Court. This is courtroom 304. I'm going to call the calendar. We'll call the
this is the first time she was on Old Squishy Gardener's channel.
Eddie Conrad Adams Jr. Mr. Holton Dennis.
Yes, present.
Who's representing Mr. Eddie Adams?
Sorry.
Oh, you got on mute. Okay.
I'm representing Mr. Adams.
All right. You have an announcement in his case?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Adams is on the calendar for 2 cases. The state has given us a global offer to resolve both. So he will be entering a plea. So I think it's just the guilty on both of the DUI per se, and then I think NOLO on the open containers and then proper lane change.
All right. Mr. Adams, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes.
You can put your hand down. So, Mr. Adams, you're before the court on two cases, case 2021CR04501 for driving under the influence per se and driving under the influence less safe. You're entering a plea of guilty to driving under the influence per se. Count two will merge. You're represented by attorney Chelsea Hahn with the law firm of Lister, Holt, and Dennis. On the next case, 2023CR06989, you're before the court for DUI. Count one, DUI less safe. Count two, open container. Count three, state violation. Open container. Count four, county violation, and improper lane change. You're entering a plea of DUI to DUI per se. Count two will merge. Count three will be no pros. Count four is a plea of nolo, and count five is a nolo plea. On this case, you're also represented by Ms. Hahn of the law firm of Lister, Holt, and Dennis. By entering these pleas to these offenses on each of these cases, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Factual basis and recommendation, please.
Your Honor. Your Honor, on November the 15th, 2020, officer was dispatched in reference to a vehicle accident where the defendant crashed into another vehicle. Your Honor, the officer indicated that when he arrived at the scene, he made contact with the defendant and he could smell odor of alcohol from the defendant's person. The officer also indicated that he observed defendant eye being glossy and his speech was slurred. The officer then requested whether defendant would undertake a field sobriety test. Defendant refused. The officer then placed defendant in custody and read defendant implied consent to the defendant. Defendant then agreed to a blood draw. Your Honor, the blood draw resulted in blood alcohol content of 0.26. That is the factual basis for case number 2021 CL04501. Your Honor, the state recommendation for this case will be 12 months to serve 30 days. The balance will be probated. There's going to be a $1,500 fine. There will be a risk reduction program, no drug and alcohol, random screening and testing, one victim impact panel. There will be 2 AA per week, 250 hours of community service. Your Honor, that is the recommendation for count one. Counts two will merge. For case number 2023 CL06989. Your Honor, the factual base for this case, this case occurred on between the intersection of Garden Walk and Riverdale Boulevard. The incident occurred on May 20th, 2023. Your Honor, the officer observed defendant driving a 2003 Ford Fusion. The defendant was swerving in between lanes and slowing down and going fast at the same time. Your Honor, the officer then observed defendant made an entry into a closed business Aldi's parking lot at the Garden Walk Boulevard. The officer then conducted a traffic stop and made contact with the defendant. The officer observed defendant eye was a bloodshot red and glassy. And the officer also indicated that he smelled alcohol from defendant's breath. The officer then asked the defendant whether he will blow the alcohol sensor. The defendant blew the alcohol sensor, and the results indicated that defendant had a blood alcohol content of
Wait a minute.
0.358.
Is he saying
Your Honor,
Alka-Seltzer
that's
or
the factual
alcohol
basis.
sensor? Because I honestly heard Alka-Seltzer, but I'm pretty sure he's trying to say alcohol sensor, right? He's not saying
Okay.
Alka-Seltzer,
No,
right?
hold on a second. So which one would make sense in a court setting?
I mean, I get it. I just don't know which it is because it really sounds like Alka-Seltzer to me. So that's all I hear. I was just asking if somebody else heard the same thing I heard. That's all I'm saying.
No one else heard that. No one else, no. And it doesn't
Let's
look
wait
like
for chat. Chat's gonna agree with me. They heard. I know it's alcohol. Thank you, Jamie. Appreciate you for having my back on that one. Love you.
yeah, but you missed the comment right above that where the painted blonde says alcohol sensor.
No, I know, but I wasn't the only one who thought that was the point. See, Nan, thank you. Ha! Nan told you, and her word trumps all. So I win.
Absolutely. Yep, we're gonna let Nan win that one. And no, this is not Hollywood Squares.
But it would be funny if it
For
was.
that case, the state recommendation will be counts one will be 12 months to serve 30 days. The balance will be probated.
Ms. Hahn?
Your Honor, my understanding is that the recommendation was just supposed to just be the DUI recommendation to run both cases concurrent.
No.
No.
He's blowing 0.26 and 0.358. That's a good amount of his blood that is just pure alcohol. And he's getting behind the wheel of a car. And these are just the 2 times we caught him. So, no, he needs to spend some substantial time with me. So it needs to run consecutive. I don't care, but like he doesn't have to do the 30 days, but once, if that's what y'all agreed on, but he's going to do 24 months of probation at least.
Love it. This is why we
talk
love
to him
Judge
again,
Tammy.
Mr. Adams. I think they worked out a sweetheart deal for you, but I'm not a sweetheart when it comes to people threatening folks' lives on the highway. You could have killed somebody. I'm surprised you didn't, and it wouldn't have been you. It would have been somebody innocent. So, no, sir. You can go back and talk to your lawyer about that. And in fact, I'm even thinking about imposing the condition that you don't drive for the 24 months. Because you seem not to be able to drink and stay in your house. You seem to want to drink and then get on the road. So talk to your lawyer. I'm not taking that. It's got to be consecutive. Huh?
I'll give him a call, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Mute your device, Mr. Adams, so I don't hear y'all's call. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Adams, you've been sworn. You're before the court on 2021 CR 04501. 2023 CR 06989, 2 separate cases. You're entering a plea on the first case ending in 04501 of guilty to count 1, count 2 will merge. You're entering a plea on the case ending in 06989 of guilty, count 2 will merge, guilty to count 1, count 2 will merge, count 3 will be no pros, count 4 will be no low, count 5 will be no low. Is this the same, Ms. Hahn?
So I understand Your Honor is not willing to accept the just the 12 months probation. The state has offered 30 months probation. So all of the probations to run consecutively. Of course, we would like that, at the most we would like is 24 months, but the state has agreed to 30 months.
All right. So, Ms. Hahn, I understand that you have to zealously fight for your clients, but what I have to balance is the rights of your clients and the fairness towards your client and what happens to the people when your client decides to get back on the road. So the first one of these was in November of 2020. And then the second one, I don't even know if I wrote down the date, but it was a short amount of time between, and these are only the ones that we have caught Mr. Adams on the road when he was drinking. there's probably been tons of other times where he made it home and thank God nobody was hurt. But we've had whole families in this county, not just once, not just twice, but multiple times. We've had whole families killed by drunk drivers. And it would be crazy of me to not keep you under some kind of supervision. I know judges in other counties who you'd be doing 3 years straight, consecutive, one after the other.
I understand, Your Honor.
I mean, I'm just saying, we got, Clayton County, we have the same issues as everybody else, but y'all get, I believe the sentences, just judging from what I look at across the state and when I meet with other judges, we probably give much more lenient sentences because we're trying to understand people's issues. And while Mr. Adams, I understand that you are what I would call an alcoholic, I can only understand your needs so much before I have to put the needs of the community before yours. And I can't allow you to get out here and kill somebody. I just really can't. I don't know that this will stop that from happening, but at least we can alcohol test you, drug test you. There are things that we can do to see if you're on the right track. And if you're not, then I can pull you back in. But, this whole, you get 2 back-to-back DUIs with high points, blood alcohol, and then we just going to let you back on the road?
Yeah, not going to happen.
Are you asking me personally?
I mean, I'm just saying, this is my feeling. So you get to talk too. I don't think that you can't speak to me because I'm not that high and mighty. What I want to know is I just cannot, in all good conscience, just give you 12 months.
Which is understandable. And my lawyer explained that situation to me, but this is not a practice of mine. In both cases, really, literally, I was like on my way home from work. And
you drinking at work?
That drunk?
No. Of course not. No. Like in both cases, look, in one case, I was actually taking somebody less than 5 minutes away from my home, and the so-called victim actually hit my vehicle. She was cited with the ticket. She was found at fault, but from what my lawyer explained to me, she was considered the victim. But she actually was cited with the ticket, and I parked my vehicle because my vehicle was literally in walking distance from the office, and that's where we pulled into. And I explained my story to the officer, and she was found at fault. And then the officer asked me, I was really just giving my girlfriend at the time, because she didn't have a license, a ride to work, which was less than 5 minutes away from.
Okay. All that being said, Mr. Adams, you blew a 0.5. I mean, your blood was 0.26.
Right.
So during all that you just explained to me, you were drunk. 0.08 legal limit. You were 3 times the legal limit, and you're trying to justify to me why you understand, but so that's alcohol talking. That's alcoholism talking. I understand, but you have yet to acknowledge that you got a real problem. I know people who go their whole lives from birth to 80 and don't get a DUI. I know people who go their whole lives from birth to 80 who don't have a drink. But here you are faced with spending a substantial amount of time in jail, risking your job, risking your livelihood. And you like, oh yeah, well see, I was good. I was just taking my girlfriend at the time because she didn't have a license. Let's skip all over the fact that you are 3 times the legal limit. Let's skip all over the fact on the next one that you almost 4 times the legal limit.
Right.
You're tickling yourself. Mr. Adams, you got to be functioning at those levels. You have got to be a long-term drinker where you have built up a tolerance. And I'm not talking about what I heard. 2 of my favorite uncles, both of whom have died, but 2 of my favorite uncles, alcoholics, as my grandmother would say, stomp down alcoholics. So I know you don't get behind the wheel of a car and function at 0.26 if you haven't been drinking steadily, daily, every day. You probably got alcohol in your system right now. Don't do it, because I'll pull you in and test you today. And then if you test for alcohol, then you're going to jail. So don't even test me on that.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I'm pretty clear. I can look at your lips and tell you drink. You got drinker's lip. You know where that little purple spot right there, where your lips lighten right there, where the bottle hits? I can tell you drink just by looking at you. I'm just saying. So let's get these sentences done, and let's see how you do, because you're going to test. And if you mess up, it's jail time. Okay, I'm going to assure you of that right now. We're clear?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Adams, just
Yes,
from
ma'am.
the standpoint of you as a person, how old are you?
Just about to be 41 in 1 month.
Okay, you're way younger than me.
My age.
But what I'm telling you is life gets better when you're doing it the right way. But you might not even make it to there unless you acknowledge the fact that A, you're an alcoholic, B, you need some serious treatment for alcoholism, and C, you probably need to put yourself into a program. Unfortunately, I don't have that to offer you right now, but you probably could use an inpatient program. Because I promise you, yours is the second highest point value I've seen on a blood alcohol test. The other one was a 0.4 something. And that man had been drinking like his whole life. You 41, and yet you were able to sustain a 0.358. That means you have been straight up drinking every single day. Your liver has probably holes in it.
Yep.
You won't last much longer. I'm gonna tell you what I know. Like I said, I lost 2 uncles. One, esophageal cancer, because drinking all that alcohol, going down your esophagus, head and neck cancers. #1 killer. Yep. The second one, all kinds of stuff. He had high blood pressure. He had diabetes. He had all kinds of untreated things. Died in his bed. We missed him, hadn't heard from it, went over, found him dead in his bed. Why am I telling you all this? Because I'm looking at you and I see my Uncle Reggie right there. Nicest person in the world. No value judgment on the content of your heart. Nicest person in the world. But had a problem with alcohol. Never treated it, died. Uncle Ronald, love him to this day. Funniest, nicest man you would ever see. Had a problem with alcohol, dead. Miss him every single day. So before this happens to you, I'm telling you, doesn't matter what I do to you, what matters is how you treat yourself. And if you don't take the opportunity to treat yourself better, you're not going to be here. Do you have kids?
Yes.
Do you have your affairs in order?
Yes.
He doesn't even know what that means.
Because they're going to have to deal with that. Are they young kids?
No. My oldest one is 17. My youngest is 4.
That's young. So you're
too
talking
young.
about a 4-year-old not having a father in their life. Maybe about, I'm going to give you until they reach middle school. You've got to do something. And I know it sounds like I'm being mean, but I'm really telling you what our family experienced. If you don't treat it, your body's not going to hold up. You got rockers, the Rolling Stones. They did hard drugs their whole youth, probably from the time they were like in their teens to the time they were in their 50s. They might still be doing them. They still alive. But alcohol, they don't let you live like that. Alcohol will kill you quicker than hard drugs, just based on what we see.
That's absolutely true.
If you manage not to overdose, you're going to be here. Hard drugs. But if you drink every day, you're not going to be here. All right. So what's the recommendation, Mr. Yedem? Okay. You know that's only 12 months, right?
Your Honor, the second case, which is 2023 CL 0698, that will be 12 months to serve 30 days. the balance will be probated, which will run consecutive with the count one for the case number 2021 CL04501.
Okay, so that's 12 months. I mean, that's 24 months, yes.
Yes.
And then the jail time, though. Okay, so my understanding, Your Honor, is that the jail time would run concurrent on both cases, so 30 days total, but that the probations would run consecutive.
Yes.
All right.
Additionally, Your Honor, Mr. Adams, and I spoke with the state, he's requesting to serve his time on the weekends. He does work full time. He's missing work right now. He understands, however, that this court case takes priority. But he does want to try to keep his job. He understands that he likely will not be able to, considering the fact that he does drive for work. But again, Your Honor, and we've had that discussion in depth.
Whoa. What does he do?
Mr. Adams, I'm not, what do you?
Auto care technician.
Ooh, boy.
So, Your Honor, Mr. Adams.
It's not long term. It's not over.
I know.
I don't know.
You move cars from one place into the service area and back out. I get it.
Right.
All right. So you'll have a total of 30 months of probation, and you will complete all of the requirements of probation. If you come back on a probation revocation, then we'll have a different discussion. I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Mr. Was he on a, did he have a bench warrant set aside? I mean, a bench warrant, because my understanding is he is showing wanted.
He did, Your Honor. And then I also just wasn't clear on the jail time.
I suspended the second 30 days. So he'll serve the first 30 days. The second 30 days is suspended unless he messes up.
And is Your Honor allowing him to serve on weekends?
That's a lot of weekends. All right. So you'll start serving weekends as of not this Friday, but
the 20th, Your Honor, I believe it's the next Friday.
Yeah, 20th. You'll turn yourself in between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. on Friday the 20th, and you'll get out the following Sunday. All right. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Adams, I promise you, nothing I do to you is going to be worse than what you do to yourself if you don't get a hold of your alcoholism, sir. All right? I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Mr. Carmichael. Mr. Carmichael is going to give you instructions regarding probation. Anything that you need to ask him specific to your situation, please make sure you cover that. Otherwise, you don't have to come back to the courtroom once you have talked to Mr. Carmichael. You just do what he directs you to do, okay?
All right. Have a good one. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Adams, I hope that you get better. I really do.
Thank you. Have a good one. Thank you.
You too.
No,
Yeah, he looks drunk to me.
You think she made a difference?
I don't know. Like, yeah, everybody's right. You have to be in the right place to accept treatment. It doesn't matter what other people do, but she's got to try, and it might work. I mean, you never know. It might just get so hard, and she might make it so hard that he doesn't have an option other than to get healthy and get help. So I hope so. I thought that was a great clip, though. It showed exactly why we love Judge Tammy, and that was the first time I think she was on YouTube at all. If it was the first time she was on Old Squishy Gardener, I'm going to go ahead and venture to guess it's the first time she was actually on YouTube. So I thought it was a perfect hearing. I love her so much. She did a great job. Wasn't going to accept the sweetheart deal. That's what I love about her. Like, she's fair and firm, but it's about, like she said at the end, it wasn't about being mean to him. What she did to him isn't going to be anything worse than he would do to himself. So love it all. Hey, Metal Rabbit, you're just about done with the show, but thanks for coming. You can replay crew it.
Absolutely. It'd be a good place to start off there. So those types of court hearings, I've often wondered why they don't have them show up. You know?
I think it's just, this was also a year ago. So, well, I wouldn't think that the pandemic has anything to do with it, but I think it's easier to get people into court through Zoom as opposed to in person. And I don't know. That I don't have an answer for, really.
Okay. Yeah. But I'm just saying, with him, we watched the one with Judge Webster where the guy was strung out pretty hard. And you know, it was when someone has an addiction issue like that, it's important to see them face to face. You know, Judge Fleischer, you can see that he's looking into those people's eyes. He's looking at their character, looking at their movements, looking at everything about them. And so, you know, sitting in a car like that, you know, you can have a conference call with anybody sitting in a car like that and it never hit.
Yeah.
And so I see a new face on here. Hey, Jen, how are you doing tonight?
Yeah, Jen, welcome in.
And
yeah, tomorrow I'm not going to be here. I'm going to take the evening off to set up my office and my desk and get everything fully set up so I don't appear all scrunched in my chair over here. But I think Bill's got something special lined up for tomorrow night, right?
Absolutely. Always do. And I don't always admit it. I don't always talk about what it is because plans change.
Yes.
And they
so maybe it'll be a
lot.
surprise. You never know.
Yeah, absolutely. They change a lot. And if nothing else, we'll do American Courts Live where I got plenty of court videos for it. I get to the point where I end up throwing away more court video than I have time to edit. And by the time I go to put up more, it's already something good to come up. So thank you everybody for coming out tonight. We will see y'all tomorrow, or I'll see you tomorrow night. Alli's high and mighty, so she takes Friday nights off.
No, it's my husband has the night off, and he requested one day where I don't touch my computer, so I granted him Friday.
Absolutely,
so
that's
we
so
get
nice.
Tomorrow off together. I'll be back Saturday if you want to do a show Saturday night. I'll be here for that though.
All right, we'll see you all for this show Saturday night, but we'll do tomorrow 3 p.m. We'll do the after the show, and tomorrow at 8 we'll do something special. Y'all have a great night.
Yeah.